Have you ever given so much love that you forgot to save even a small piece for yourself? This is the story of Lara Suleiman, a woman admired by many, yet unseen by most, a woman who believed loving others meant emptying herself completely, and a woman who had to break before she finally understood the truth: you cannot pour into others if you are empty. This is the journey of how she found her way back home, to herself. Lara lived in the coastal town of Alora, a place blessed with sea winds, early morning chants, and warm sunsets that painted the sky like gold leaf. Life moved slowly there, but Lara's days were always full. She wasn't rich, she wasn't famous, she didn't have titles or influence. What she had was compassion, and in Alora, that made her priceless. If an elderly man dropped his groceries, Lara was the first hand beneath the falling tomatoes. If a child lost a kitten, she searched every alley, calling softly into the shadows. If a mother couldn't buy school supplies, Lara somehow found a way. Homesickness, hunger, heartbreak, Lara could sense them the way others sensed rain. People called her the soul of Alora. They praised her kindness at gatherings. They mentioned her in prayers. They admired her openly. But admiration is not the same thing as care. And praise is not the same thing as presence. Inside her small home, things were different. Her nights were silent. Her home was unkept, dust in corners she never had the time to clean. Laundry folded on chairs instead of closets. A bed she barely slept in because she was always returning late. And her heart? Her heart was tired, so tired it sometimes felt like it forgot how to beat with joy. Yet every morning she woke up and gave again, because she didn't know another way to live. Every dawn before the sun fully climbed out of the ocean, Lara visited Madame Hajara, the widow who lived 2 streets away. She swept the compound, fetched water, cooked simple meals, washed dishes, and listened to the older woman talk about life before grief became her companion. Sometimes Madame Hajara would pause and look at her with worried eyes. "Lara, my child, you do too much." And Lara, with her gentle smile, always replied the same way: "Others need me more. I'm fine." But she wasn't fine. From Madame Hajara's house, she hurried to Mr. Dogo's workshop, patching the broken shelves and running errands. In the afternoons, she tutored the neighborhood children, teaching them to read, count, and dream beyond their circumstances. In the evenings, she volunteered at the clinic, cleaning wounds, handing out medicines, comforting parents. Her days were filled with the weight of other people's worlds, but her own world was falling apart quietly. Every night, she returned home with trembling legs and aching shoulders. Her stomach often growled, reminding her she had forgotten to eat. She stood in her dim room, looking at the dust and the disorganized corners, and whispered the same promise: "Tomorrow. I'll take care of myself tomorrow." But tomorrow never came. For people like Lara, tomorrow was always reserved for someone else. It happened on a scorching afternoon, when the sun pressed its weight heavily on the earth. A teenage boy burst into the clinic, breathless and frantic. "Auntie Lara, please come. My sister fainted." Lara didn't hesitate. She followed him through the dusty street into a cramped room where a young girl lay unconscious. Lara moved with calm expertise, checking her pulse, cooling her forehead, guiding her breathing. By the time the girl opened her eyes, the panic had dissolved. Lara stepped outside, relieved, but then everything shifted. Her vision blurred at the edges like a fading photograph. Her chest tightened as if a hand reached inside and squeezed. Her body trembled, not just with exhaustion, but with years of unspoken weariness, finally demanding to be heard. "Lara, are you okay?" someone asked. She forced a weak smile. "I'm fine," she whispered her oldest lie. She tried to walk home. Each step felt like wading through water. By the time she reached her door, her strength simply vanished. Her knees buckled, her body gave up. And Lara collapsed at her own doorstep, the threshold of the home she had ignored for too long. She lay there, eyes closed, breath shallow. Not one person passed by. Not one person noticed. For 2 days, Lara lay inside her dim home, too weak to stand, too drained to call for help. Hunger gnawed at her abdomen, thirst cracked her lips, and fatigue wrapped around her like a heavy blanket. Her mind swirled with memories, faces she had helped, voices she had comforted, hands she had held. She thought of all the times she ran to someone's rescue, even when she herself had nothing left. And in those moments of painful clarity, a quiet truth rose inside her. "I am empty." Maybe Madame Hajara would come. Maybe the children would notice her absence. Maybe Mr. Dogo. Maybe the clinic workers. But no one came. People simply assumed Lara was out helping someone else as she always was. The world she poured into daily did not pour back into her. Not because they were cruel, but because they believed she was unbreakable. A single tear slid down her cheek as she whispered into the silence. I gave everything, but I forgot myself. Her voice faded and the house returned to stillness. On the morning of the third day, a traveler arrived in Alora. A woman named Sister Nala, known in nearby towns as a spiritual caregiver, someone who walked with quiet eyes and a peaceful presence. As she walked through the narrow street, she noticed a door slightly ajar. Something tugged at her spirit. She stepped closer and saw a faint figure on the floor. It was Lara. Nala dropped her bag and rushed inside. "Dear one, can you hear me?" she whispered. Lara's eyelids fluttered weakly. Nala lifted her gently, gave her water, wiped her forehead with a cloth, and supported her trembling body as if holding something fragile and precious. When Lara could finally speak, her voice cracked like dried leaves. I didn't realize how tired I was. I kept carrying everyone. I didn't notice I was drowning. Nala held her hand firmly and looked into her fading eyes. "My dear," she whispered, "you cannot fill other people's jars if yours is broken. Love must begin with you, or it will destroy you." The words slipped into Lara's heart like truth she had always known but never allowed herself to accept. And something inside her broke open, not with pain, but with awakening. The next morning, Lara stood slowly on shaky legs. Her body felt fragile, but her mind felt clearer than it had in years. She looked around her home, dusty shelves, cracked windows, clothes piled on chairs, and realized this place wasn't just neglected. It reflected her neglected soul. For the first time, Lara decided, it's time to take care of me. She opened her windows and let fresh ocean air sweep in. She cleaned slowly, gently, as though tending to a wounded friend. She fixed her windows, washed her clothes, cooked herself a warm meal. She rested without guilt, falling asleep to the sound of her own heartbeat instead of someone else's problems. She visited the ocean, letting the waves speak peace into her bones. She planted flowers outside her home, little bursts of hope she watered daily. She journaled. She breathed. She listened to her own thoughts. People noticed the shift. Lara doesn't run everywhere anymore. She says she's taking care of herself. Is she okay? Has she changed? Yes, she had changed. She was healing. She still helped people, but now with balance. She set gentle boundaries. Sometimes she said, "I'll come, but after I rest." And surprisingly, people listened, respected it, followed her example. Her light grew brighter because she finally stopped dimming it for the world. One evening, Madame Hajara visited Lara with a warm smile. "My child," she said softly, "you have taught this town something powerful. We thought love meant giving everything away, but you showed us that love begins inside." Lara smiled, her eyes calm like a quiet tide. "When I chose myself, I discovered that self-love makes my love stronger, not smaller." And slowly, the town of Alora began to transform. People rested more. People said no without guilt. People cared for their own hearts. And the town became calmer, kinder, because they realized even the strongest person needs gentleness. Lara didn't just heal herself. She changed the rhythm of an entire community. One evening, Lara stood by the ocean as the sun dipped behind the horizon, turning the waves into molten gold. The breeze touched her face, soft like a new beginning. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Loving myself is not selfish. It is how I keep my light alive. Remember this. You cannot carry others if you are falling apart. You cannot love deeply if your own heart is empty. Rest, heal, breathe, and choose yourself, because the world needs your light, not your exhaustion." If these words moved you, share them with someone who always gives more than they receive. Don't forget to follow for more soul-nourishing stories.